What is happening?
Let's
We gon' chop it up like sushi. Break it on down like a hoopty. In translation, bridge the gap. Communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Nah, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday with Man Translation. I am Sky C, the producer. I am an owner, an entrepreneur, an author, and a speaker. And this is Dante V, our resident communication and relationship strategist. And we come here Sunday after Sunday, and we talk about the hard topics. We come here and we talk about the truth, and we share our experiences to bridge the gap between men and women, because men and women have different communication styles. They don't really think the same, and it's not really a bad thing, but we need to bridge the gap and bring some unity because there's strength in number. So
Yes, there is.
this week we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of people don't really talk about, which when you come here, you're going to hear a lot of things you never heard before. So we're going to talk about being alone, but not being lonely.
Cheers.
And we always start with, in communication, we always start with definitions, because in my definition of words and your definition of words might not be, it might not be the same thing. Because why? We perceive differently, and a lot of times we think our perceptions is all there is to it, and it's not.
No, it's not. It is not, and that is the basis of all communication. You got to be on the same page in the beginning. Then moving forward, okay, all right, fine. But you said this was this, and this is what I'm going with. This is what I'm sticking with because you said it. We agreed upon it, and that's what we're doing moving forward.
And relationships, they people assume a lot. People, you assume that what your definition of a word is my definition of a word, and that's the basis for miscommunication and misunderstanding. And so we have to not only to share what our definitions of things are, but also, like, what is your definition? Because to you, alone might mean one thing, and to him it might mean something else. Now, I know for a whole fact that a lot of people, and I really want to talk about this because I only talk about what I know about. I don't talk about, if I don't know about it, I don't talk about it. Okay. And I experience this a lot. I deal with this in my personal life a lot. People act like something is wrong with you if you are a woman and you're by yourself. They act like you have some type of leprosy, or, like, is she crazy? She intelligent, she's attractive, but like she by herself, something must be wrong with her.
Whew. Okay, let me hop on that for a minute because it's really more so the concept of just being by yourself. I mean, generally it doesn't happen with women because men always have someone in the pocket per se. But if you have some level of attraction and you're by yourself, what's wrong with you? Something's not right. Like, are you crazy? Are you demented? Are you a little off? What is it? Like, I went through that for a while. It's just whatever. I'm content. You're just content with being by yourself. It's intoxicating. especially once you get over a certain hump, like that loneliness hump. Like once you get over that, it's like, okay, it's me, and I can do whatever I want, whatever I want. It's
But
different.
but it's a double standard though when it comes between men and women. And that's another reason we do this show, because there are a lot of double standards that go along with men and women. When a man is single, oh, he's a bachelor, he got his bachelor pad, it's okay. Men don't get that pushback in society. Women get a lot of pushback when they are by themselves, when they make the choice to be by themselves. Oh, somebody must have broke her heart. Like, who hasn't had their heart broken? What that mean? Okay. You never had your heart broken. Oh, somebody must have broke her heart. Or oh, she must don't like men. She must like women's. She like women's.
With an S on the end.
Yeah, no, a Z. A women's. She like women's. She must don't like men's. She like women's. You just be like, no. No. So it's a whole taboo. And I deal with this in the church. I deal with this everywhere. Like, people cannot conceive, like their minds cannot even fathom that you would make a choice to be by yourself. It don't register in people's minds. I spend more time talking. Oh, we lost Dante. I spent. Where did you go that quick? I spend more time having this conversation than any other conversation. Why are you by yourself?
It's not that one. Why do I have to be with someone? This is not like one of those prerequisite sort of things. Maybe again, I'm just getting myself together. So when I decide I do want to be out there, I got me together. Hopefully, whoever I'm going to talk to got themselves together, or is going through the transition of getting themselves together. So when we actually do come together, we ain't all jacked up.
Nope. They figure if you are an attractive woman and you got some things going for you, there is no way you should be single. There's no way conceivable you could be single. Maybe she on some type of medication. Maybe she got some type of mental issue. Like, something has to be wrong. I'm telling you, I deal with it. It's a taboo. There's a stigma that is attached to single women, to the point that it's almost a curse. Oh, that's why you gonna end up by yourself. Like, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
You promise? Because what? That's not that don't threaten me with a good time. Because again, it being in a relationship with the right person is a beautiful thing. But being able to do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it, however you want to do it, and not have to answer or consult with anybody else is even beautifuler. Yes.
But
beautiful.
Being in a relationship with yourself is the ultimate thing. And that's what they don't understand. That's the ultimate thing. Like, the fact that you can move through the world by yourself, travel by yourself. It don't matter if I travel by myself or if I travel with people. I'm still going to have a good time. Matter of fact, I have a better time when I travel by myself, because I talk to anybody. I talk to total strangers, walk up to people like, hey, how y'all doing today? Y'all having a good time? Where y'all going? More. When you with somebody, they all self-conscious. Why you all so happy and loud? Like, leave them peoples alone. Do they look bothered? They look like they having a good time.
In fact, we having fun. If I am bothering you, guess what? I ain't never going to see you again.
We having fun.
We going home.
So the ultimate is to be by yourself. Why? Because you are fostering a relationship with you. You're getting to know you. To me, when people give you a hard time with being by themselves, it's because they're not healthy. You're the broken one. You're the broken one. So because I'm not going around being a cemetery for your semen, a dumping ground for your semen, something got to be wrong with me? I don't think so.
And that's why they make it seem that way. because that's something that they want, but they're trying to make you feel guilty about your decision, so they can go off and do what they want to do as far as manipulating you to be with them, or like you said, be a dumping ground for them.
Exactly. Because
Mm.
that's all you are. When you just have constantly having sex with people, you just a dumping ground. You a cemetery for their semen. I don't think so. Okay. And so I don't want to be dead on the inside. And so that brings us to the definition of alone and
Mhm.
lonely. Alone is a physical state. Physically, you're alone. Loneliness is a state of mind which
Mhm.
reflects deep sadness. I hear women all the time. They ask this question all the time. That's why I wanted to talk about it on the show. Like, how do you be by yourself? You don't never seem like you're lonely. You don't never seem sad. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm fostering a relationship with me. How can I ask somebody to have a relationship with me when I don't have a relationship with myself? I don't know myself.
I think Kanye West said it best in a song years ago. He said, "I can be by myself and enjoy the company." It really is that simple. I'm getting to know me, and I'm going to enjoy learning the things I like, I don't like, what even and also the things that I love. I don't need to. If I have someone there to partake in those things and bounce ideas off of, great. But it's not a requirement.
Go ahead, keep going, Dante.
No, that's it. Everything all right?
No, my battery is about to go.
Uh, so no, it's really that having a relationship with self, it comes first. And even if you're with someone, you can still have a relationship with yourself and that person. The relationship with self never stops. It just keeps expanding, and it just keeps going and going and going. And to the point where you're always going to learn stuff about you. So it's going to be a never-ending thing. Even with people, it takes a lifetime to get to know someone. So it also takes a lifetime to get to know you as well.
But I think that in order for you, if loneliness is a deep sadness, you're never going to know what you're really sad about until you really be by yourself.
Okay.
I just had a situation where something was supposed to take place and it didn't take place, and I found myself being disappointed, and being disappointed made me sad. And I said, man, why is this affecting me so much? Like, why do I feel sad about this? And so, God reminded me that you live your life from the inside out. You don't live your life from the outside in. You
Mm-hmm.
allowed yourself to want this external thing. And when that external thing didn't happen at the time, it affected your internal. And I was like, man, because I don't live my life that way. And I was like, man,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because it made me make a decision. I made a major decision about something in my life as a result of me knowing that that's not normally how I feel. And
Right.
so I made a decision about a major decision, but it's a major challenge that I'm going to step up to for myself. So as
Right.
a result of me examining my internal, that it went away. The sadness went away just like that. See, that's where depression comes. Depression comes in when you allow the sadness that you never examine. Why you feeling sad? What? Because I never told you. We talked about this last week. I never said that you're not going to have emotions. What I said was, don't allow your emotions to control you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You control your emotions. You don't allow your feelings to control you. You control your feelings. So if I never examined it, I don't think I would have ever came to that conclusion to make the decision that I made in my life,
No.
which was a good thing.
Right. Let me hop in here real quick. To speak on what you were saying as far as living within versus living without.
Mhm.
The quick interpretation, and it's Sunday, so I'm gonna take y'all to church for just a little bit.
Let's go.
God,
Let's go.
God lives within. God lives within you. So when you foster what's inside of you, you're also fostering things of God. Thus, you living for yourself slash God. When you're living for the outside, you're trying to please man as far as whether it's a job, it's just material stuff. How you look on the outside versus how you are on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Your outside perception versus your character.
Mm-hmm.
Because your character is going to remain your character. You can throw stones at it, but it's going to be remain untouched. Whereas on the outside, you can lose those things, but who are you? Who are you really?
Right. And it also is internally, I talked about last week, when you're living from your spirit, which is your true identity. When you're living from your spirit, which is your true identity, you have joy. When you're
Mm-hmm.
living from the external, you have happiness. Happiness is predicated upon what happens or doesn't happen in your life. So that means you're also controlled by your situation and your circumstances instead of you controlling your
Mm-hmm.
situation and your circumstance. And so that's why a lot of people get stuck because they're not understanding that, okay, I might be in this situation. It might even take me a while to get out of it. But I'm coming out of it not by responding to the external stimuli, but I'm going to respond from what's inside of me. And so it's the difference between operating from your true identity and then operating from your false identity where you're trying to please people. You're trying to please everybody. Now we just saw the brat get married. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are all happy and congratulatory. I remember when Mary J. Blige hooked up with Kendu. I told people that's a no. That right there is a no. Because when you operate from it's like truth, you know how they say, game recognize game. Well, it's the same thing with
Mm-hmm.
truth. Truth recognize truth. Real recognize real. When you operate from your spirit, from your true identity, you recognize false stuff so
Yes,
easily,
you do. So and quickly too.
quickly,
Just from jump.
just from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't have to study counterfeit money to know counterfeit money. All you got to do is know real money. So when you operating from your spirit, you operate from your true identity, your true self, you recognize the false so quick. So I was like, this brat thing, it's a no. And it's interesting because it's a pit. They took a picture of them together, then they took a picture of them separately. She looks terrified. She looks terrified. I
I
watched the
gotta
show.
find that pic.
I watched the show. How many times does somebody have to tell you no? She kept telling the girl, no,
Oof.
no, let me pay off my bill. No, no, no. How do you keep? I've been there. I have, oh my God. When you keep telling somebody no, because your instincts, your true self is always
Mm-hmm.
talking to you, trying to tell you. But because you be worrying about what people think, you go along with what they telling you to do. She kept
Nope.
saying no, 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 no. How do we go from no, 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 no to you to marry somebody? Even when she surprised her with a birthday / engagement, like they got into an argument because it was like, I didn't hear you say yes. Like she was like, uh-huh. Like, uh-huh. She wasn't jumping up and down. Yes, yes. It was almost like she was forced into it.
Yeah, exactly, because I didn't hear you say yes versus I didn't hear you give an answer.
Didn't hear you give an answer. And it's like it's like, oh, congratulations. They co-signed it. And I'm saying, ooh, no, no, no. No, and
Mm-hmm.
no. I'm and it's not because they two girls. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Because when you operate from your spirit, you can see whether the spirit of love is there. You can see whether the spirit of God is in the union. It's a lot of stuff you can see that people don't see. when they operate from their feelings and their emotions, and they operate from external stimuli or what's going on, what's happening in their life or what's not happening. It doesn't see when you operate from your spirit, it doesn't matter whether something happened or didn't happen when you think it's going to happen. It doesn't affect your joy. Joy comes from the spirit. Okay, happiness comes from what's happening in your life. Well, you thought you were going to do a certain thing and he didn't do it, and now you're sad. You're not sad because you're alone. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because you're sad.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
And you haven't gotten to what the root of the sadness is. And if you don't check the sadness, it'll turn to depression.
Yeah, it'll just grow into depression, and that's a whole nother beast.
And then
people live with
depression leads to suicide. Because people are not taking the time to go take a deep dive inside themselves. If I never would have said, okay, dang, why am I sad? Like, why is this even bothering me? Like, and I sat down and, just that quick, the answer came, and just that quick, I made a decision. And it's a life-changing decision.
Yep, they all are. They all are. Choices you make today affect you for tomorrow, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent.
And see, alone, you think because people are alone that they automatically lonely. No. It's because somebody is alone, it doesn't mean that they're lonely. It means that they have fostered a healthy relationship with themselves, and God has made them whole. It takes strength to be by yourself. It takes a lot of strength.
It does?
Yes.
It just comes natural.
After a while, it comes now. It takes a lot of strength when you're being ridiculed and something must be wrong with her and
I don't bet no mind. I don't bet no mind. None.
Everybody want to match with you. Everybody want to hook you up with somebody. Somebody stay wanting to hook you up because they don't know how to be by themselves, so they don't want you to be by yourself either. Oh,
no,
poor Sky, she's all by herself.
No, listen. I can go out by myself and it'd be cool. Go to the movies, be chilling, and when it's time for me to go, I can leave. I ain't gotta wait for nobody. None of that. Gone.
Remember when the pandemic hit, people was losing it.
I was loving it. What? I'm here anyway. I mean, most people.
The extroverts was loving it. The extroverts was suffering. The introverts was like, we always be by ourselves, though. This ain't no big deal. Get to the root of what your sadness is. Get to the root of what your sadness is. Last week we were talking about, the difference between being in your feelings. One of the things after we got off, I was remembering the interview, the long-awaited interview with Whitney Houston when she came back from, all of the situation that she had been dealing with, and she did the interview with Oprah. And she said, he was my drug. I was addicted to him. And normally when you're addicted to something, whether it's another person, whether it's food, whether it's social media, whatever the addiction is, when you don't have it, you're sad. You need to get to what is making you sad. Being alone does not mean you have to be lonely. The only time I was ever lonely was when I was married toward the end of my marriage, because there was now a disconnect. Because the two shall become one. You become one in your spirit. And when you get divorced, it's like a tearing away. It's like somebody literally they're ripping another person from you, like your Siamese twins, and now surgery is time to rip that person apart. Is it painful? Yes, it is. Do you go through a type of death? Yes, you do. Do you go through a grieving process? Absolutely. You go through all those. Well, some people do. Some people never do.
Yeah, because they never face it. They just tuck it, bury it, and then they just try to go on to the next. and try to latch them that their half selves into someone's whole self.
No, to someone's half self. These are broken people with broken people. These are people that are single but not whole. You can be
Mm.
single and still be broken. And these are people that are single and they're trying to attach themselves to another human being to make themselves whole. Well, that's not how wholeness works. You have to be whole. You have to spend enough time with yourself that you get healing. You have to go through a healing process. And some of it is longer for some people, it's shorter, but you definitely have to go through a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, you do.
if you don't go through a healing process, that wound is forever oozing. It's going to forever ooze. That hurt is
Listen,
never
if, it,
going to heal.
if it's oozing, that means it's infected.
It's going to get infected because see, people don't know how to take, and this is the problem with the church. The church doesn't know how. That's why my ministry is so different from, it's always been different, because I take a spiritual thing and I explain it to you in a way that you can understand so that you can do it and see real change happen in your life. Coming on here quoting scriptures to you is not going to do you any good,
Nope.
because you don't even know
Nope.
what the scriptures mean. That's why you got to be careful when people always quoting scriptures, because most of them, that's just trying to manipulate you. People need revelation. It's like food for babies. You got to go take the word, eat it, break it down, and then give it to the people so that they can easily digest it, so that they can do it, so that it can be
Right.
actionable, so that the confusion can be moved, the doubt can be moved, and they can see their way clear. Because when you live your life externally and you live your life from your feelings, you can't see. You can't see nothing.
Mm-mm.
You can have a map, you can know where you want to go, hop in your car, and know how to get there. But if it's a bunch of leaves on your windshield and you don't
You
move,
ain't
you
you ain't
ain't
going
gonna get
far.
nowhere. You're gonna keep crashing and crashing and crashing and crashing. And that's what people are doing in their lives. They're crashing and burning because they have no clarity. They cannot see anything. They don't see anything. And when you come and try to tell them, those of us that are in the spirit, what we see, they be like, oh, she just mad because she ain't got no man. Is that what you calling that? What you got? Is that what you think that is? Okay, carry on.
That's a small minded statement. Cause I ain't got no man. Cause I ain't got no woman. What? Nah.
Because to people who are not healed, that's the end all to the be all. I've shared with you so many times growing up the things that my grandmother would say to me. And one of the things she would always say, from as long as I can remember, people that don't like to be by themselves don't like themselves because they're the only ones in the room. I had to become an adult to understand what that meant. I used to be like, what? You're the only one in the room? What? You don't like yourself? And I found it to be true over and over and over again. People that don't like to be by themselves don't like themselves. And that's why if they don't like themselves, they're not going to like you, because they have not, they, someone somewhere has told them something negative, and that tape is looping, playing in their subconscious mind, driving them every single
Mm-hmm.
day. And it's deep sadness. Like, people are unhappy.
Hmm. But you gotta me, I guess, like you said, in order to combat that, you gotta get to the root of why you're unhappy. And you have to confront it, whatever it is. Whatever you need to release, release it. Whatever you need to deal with it. I mean, the end result, of course, is beautiful, but you have to go through whatever you need to go through to get there. We didn't say it was going to be pretty, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
For me, as you know, I've been kind of more celibate than I've been anything else in my life. And
Mhm.
I had to really go to God and say, why don't I want to be married? Because to me, I didn't think a second thought about it. And God brought back to my remembrance when I was 13, I wanted to be a nun. I wanted to be a nun. I did. I was trying to just like find out how to, I just wanted to serve God with my whole entire life. And then at 15, I made a decision at 15 that I didn't want to get married. So I feel like I am a modern day nun because it is so easy for me to be celibate. Like it's so easy. Plus, because I live out of my spirit and I see things that people don't see, I just be like, a lot of stuff just be like, no, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? Like I can take one look, and I don't really want to. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna put that out there. But I'm just gonna say that you have to be so in touch with your true identity that people just can't talk you into making decisions in your life that down the
Right.
line is going to be detrimental. I don't care how good it looks because when you're single, you a single woman, the society just tries to discard you. They just try to discard you, and I'm telling you, you hear these people on these little shows. You hear it all the time. That's why you're going to see. That's why you don't know how to be submissive. So that's why you just going to die, and you just going to be by yourself with a bunch of cats. Okay, guess what though?
First of all, they keep their cats.
But
But yeah,
I
you
want to
keep
be
all
with.
the
I
cats.
want to have a house full of cats. That's my business though. You see what I'm saying? Like you act like it's a curse. Being alone is not.
It's not, but also that might be a reflection on them because they're
It
in the
is
jail
a
cell.
reflection on them.
They're in a jail cell, and it's like, well, you out here, you just free doing whatever. So yeah, if you wanna, that's why you gonna. Okay, great. Yep. You go back to your quote unquote happy relationship because you got in it because you was broken.
So how do you so the title of the show is how to be alone but not lonely. So how to be alone and not lonely. You have to understand that alone means you're just it's a physical state. Physically, you're
Right.
alone. Okay. One of the things that I have become, and it's a term, I don't know whether I came up with it. I don't know whether somebody else uses it or not. But I always say I'm a self-contained unit. I'm a self-contained unit, which means that I understand that I have everything I need already on the inside of me. And that's how I live my life. There's nothing that I need externally. The only things that I may want externally are conveniences, things that make my life convenient. A cell phone makes my life convenient. A car makes my life convenient. Just those conveniences that I go inside of myself and I come up with the intelligence and I work and I get those things for myself. Do I depend on those things? No. Do they define me? No. They're just conveniences that help me do what I do. It helps me run my business. It helps me do the ministry that I'm called to do. But I do not, you know, lean on those things to the point that it's just excess consumption. Some of the stuff that you see on the internet is really a shame. People showing
Yeah.
their G wagons that they don't own, that you leasing, your Mercedes and all of that. That's all great. But what about the substance?
And that's what a lot of people miss the substance. Because again, this will go back to what I was saying before, whether you're living for you versus the outside. You live for the outside, yes. It's just, I got this, I got the G wagon, the Mercedes, I got the house, I got this, but on the inside, you're empty. And again,
And it
you living for
shows. That's the thing
you
that they
living for
don't
likes and
realize. It shows. Where Dante keep going to? It shows. You keep popping in and out. It
yeah.
shows. That's they don't even realize that emptiness, that void, we can see that.
And it's obvious too. You ain't hiding nothing.
Nothing.
Because that's all you talk about is your possessions.
It's your possessions and your money and how much money you make. I don't follow nobody that says I can make you 6 7 figures. I don't follow them because you're not really telling people what the truth is. The truth is that in business there's no shortcuts. In business there is no shortcuts. Okay, you have to find out what works for you. Is it a framework? Yes, you can get a framework. Is it a model? Yes. But if that's the way you made 6 figures, that might not be the way that I'm gonna make my 6 figures.
No,
Matter of
because
fact,
there's
I
no
know
cookie
it's not.
cutter approach. There's no cookie cutter approach. Nope.
We're all on the same highway, but our exits are not the same.
No, they're not. We're going different places.
We might be going in the same direction, but we're not all going to the same place. And so, but people fall for that because why? You're drawn away by your own desires. And people take those desires and they do this with it. They dangle your desires before you. Last week we were talking about go on Netflix and watch Inventing Anna. Did you watch it?
I did not watch it. I'm
You
gonna
still
watch it
didn't
when
watch
we
it?
get off.
It is
I'm
it is
watching when I
like
get
9
off.
parts. You do have to binge watch it. But it's good. It is, oh my God, it is so good because basically what you're seeing this woman who is dead broke, don't have $1 to her name, let alone 10 cents. And she is telling people basically what they want to hear according to their own desires and getting from them anything she wants. And the woman ain't got a dime. And she's doing it the same way they do on the internet. She wears the most expensive clothes. She look like money, but she don't have no money. If they don't do that on the internet, I don't know what. They do that all the time.
Yeah, all
Go
the time.
go rent a Rolls Royce. Like who was that? T.I.? Was that T.I.? No, Lil Bow Wow that rented the jet. You think
I forgot about Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Weezy
Oh my
and got
gosh.
caught because that's what they all do. Because they know you really want money and you really want this lifestyle. They're not going to tell you that it's hard work. They're not going to tell you that it takes discipline.
Yeah,
They're not going to
absolutely
tell
it's
you
hard
that it
work.
takes a routine. They're not going to tell you that, oh, they didn't just roll out of bed. They've been working on this thing for years.
Because they want you to follow them so they can just have again another that one more like, that one more follow, that one person that's pulling on their coattails because they want to feel needed.
Because why? Because most people are operating out of a false identity. So they follow the false. And the true, they hate the true people. When you tell somebody the truth, they don't want to hear that. That's why these are hard conversations that people don't want to have with themselves. It takes courage to face yourself. It takes courage to face your issues. That you think you don't have no issues. What you mean you ain't got no issues? Everybody got issues. You tripping. So how to be alone is to understand that you're by yourself. Okay. So how do you keep from being lonely? You examine your sadness. Why are you depressed? Why is this thing bothering me so much? Why is those words that person said, you know what I'm saying? Why am I trying to twist myself up like a pretzel to make all these people like me when at the end of the day, they don't even like themselves?
Nope.
Why am I letting somebody talk me into getting married when my true self is telling me, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, because if you're not ready, you're not ready. This is not to be taken lightly at all. Nah.
And it's
like precious.
It's just like like I really don't want to say a whole lot of stuff like about it because I don't really want to come across like I'm a hater, but it was a bunch of stuff that was unsettling to me about it. You know, I'm concerned about people for real. It don't matter whether I know you or don't know you or met you or never met you. It's just important because I know it's possible for you to be, you know, alone and be happy, you know, and have joy. You don't have to be lonely because you're by yourself. You can be whole and still have a full life. Your life can still be whole. Like for me, I think I enjoy my life more. Dante, where are you at? Don't be just trying to sneak out. Just what you doing, Dante? Where you
No,
at?
it's just I think it's on your side because you're the host. I don't want to. I'm trying to jinx now. No, it just went out.
Yeah, that's like the third time you went out now. I need you to
Yeah,
stay.
no, I'm
No, I
trying to.
just want people to understand that it's absolutely and completely possible for you to be physically alone and not be lonely. And don't let people make you feel like because you by yourself something
Listen,
is wrong with you.
let's go and have story time for a minute. All
Go
right?
ahead.
Okay. All right, story time. I was, those of you who know, I spent a lot of time alone because I was becoming someone who I wasn't. I was completely out of my character. It got to a point where I'm looking at myself like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
I had went through a divorce. I lost a girlfriend, a best friend, um, because I got caught. And I've never been a cheater. That's not me. But I was becoming that person, and having to sit back and look back, like, okay, what is going on with me? These are not my behaviors. These are not, although these are my actions. Like these are not actions of something that I would do. I literally have to sit myself down and say, you know what? Let me fix me. Whatever flaw that I'm having, let's see if we can undo it. And you do have to take that time out to reset, especially when you've been in a relationship for X amount of time because you're just used to that person being there. You're used to being in the flow of being in a relationship. Now that I'm no longer here is the time to focus on me, fix me, strengthen my walk with God. A whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't doing before because clearly I have slipped. So in order not to go back on that same path, you have to withdraw yourself. Okay, I cheated, I lied, I was deceitful, I was all of these different things. Why? That asking yourself why and having the answer for it is probably going to be one of the most hardest things you're ever going to have to deal with, ever going to have to deal, because you have to be honest with you. You can't BS you because you know the truth. You know why you did what you did. You can convince other people otherwise, but you can't convince you because you were there. You did it. So trying to reconcile some of those relationships and some of the words and things that they said, it definitely even to this day, it still kind of stings a little bit because again, I had become someone who I wasn't. And don't get me wrong, I take full responsibility for what I did and how I did it. There's no way around that. But on the back end, the process, you've caused damage, you caused harm, and you have to fix that. You go back and then you do have to spend time with yourself. The good parts as well as the ugly parts. For me, it was more so dealing with the ugly parts. The good parts, okay, whatever. Having to deal with that, and it was just long. Even I talked to my mom, and my mom get to you raw, and that's what she did. First things first, you know better. It's like, here we go. Yes, mom. Yes, I know better. And then it was like, okay, here it is. And she's just as she's talking, it's a nurturing spanking, which is weird, but it's necessary. I bring up my mom because you have to have people in your corner who's going to tell you the truth. They're not going to cater to what you did. Oh, dog, don't worry about that. There's other women out there. Oh, no, you ain't worried about the other women. We're worried about what you doing, what you did, because those people didn't deserve that. And once you get that down and have those people in your corner that are going to hold you accountable, you begin to again work on you even more, even deeper. But the process is difficult in the beginning. After a while, you just, all right, here's what I need to do. Here's what I need to fix. It's almost like, here's the test. You're not worried about the good answers. You need to fix the bad ones.
Mhm.
So you go back and you fix those bad ones, and of course, you're going to be tested throughout time, whatever the case it may be. But you're definitely going to be tested. So just work on that because it's going to keep coming back until you pass it. It's going to keep getting more and more difficult until you pass it. So just pass it. I mean, easier said than done. Go ahead, man.
No, 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 no. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I was just going to say, for those of you who do know, and for those of you who don't know, because we also on our YouTube channel today too. Dante is my son. I'm his mother, and it was important for us to do a mother and son. For me to do a mother and son, I could have got one of my male friends to do the man translations, but I wanted to show another taboo that's in our culture, that mothers and sons can't have healthy relationships,
Mhm.
and that that we raise mama's boys. Well, I have two sons and I didn't raise no mama boys. Okay.
Not at all.
Raise them to be independent, strong, men of God, as best as I could. I could only be their mother and not their father. So that's why that's also an important aspect of this show. And it's also what makes the show unique, because you don't really see a whole lot of mothers and sons doing shows. And so I
No.
just wanted to put that little caveat there. But it's absolutely the truth. The sooner you swallow the pill of
Mhm.
being by yourself, you're going to discover that you really like yourself, and that God created an amazing human being, but you're not even giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, of just doing the work. And I think that really the people that want to be married is the main people that need to be by themselves, because you miss the opportunity to heal. You miss the opportunity to
And
know
now
your.
you trying to lock somebody down in there with you, knowing damn well you out there crying for help.
Yeah.
No.
Know you crying for help. Know that there's some things in you that need to be changed. Because I'm telling you, what happens is the more you live your life in a false identity, and the more you live your life as a people pleaser, you're gonna disappear completely.
I'm about to say the more and more you get lost every
Yep.
day,
You're going
you
you're
just
going to lose
piling on.
yourself. Yep. You're going to lose yourself completely. And you're going to turn into a person that you don't like. And so that's what a beast is. That's basically what's happening. You're slowly turning into a beast. See, y'all think these little slang words and stuff, words are spirit, and they have life, and they take on a life. And so you turn into this monster of a person,
Hmm.
where you go from allowing your feelings to control you, because you always in your feelings, and then you end up having no feelings.
Mm. Heartless.
You don't have no feelings. You don't have no empathy. You don't have no apathy. You get to the point where you don't care about nobody but you and what you want. So now you're being driven for money, because now you want to validate yourself. So you
Hmm.
figure, hey, if I get this big house, I get this money, I get these cars, I'm balling, and now they're going to give me what it is I desire. No.
One, you're going to attract the wrong crowd. You're going to attract the leech crowd. People just like you because of what you have, not who you are. So you begin to nurture the thing that you have and neglect who you are. Thus, you're now creating a blanket over top. So when it comes time to when you lose those things or you don't have those things anymore, who are you?
Because the love of money is the root of all evil. See, the Bible never says to love money, it says to be friends with money. It's a total
Mhm.
difference to being friends with something, and to loving it to the point that you're chasing it, and you'll do anything for it, because that's normally what happens. See, everything is a progression. Either it's going to progress for the good, or it's going to progress for the bad, but it's going to progress. No matter what side you're on, it's going to progress. And so when I think about alone, and I think about my life, I live my life as a self-contained unit. That's why it bothered me so much that this thing, it made me a little sad. I was like, I don't be getting sad about stuff. Like, what's going on? Because I stepped out of my container and allowed something external. And it always is going to always end in disappointment. People are going to always disappoint you, even if they're not trying to disappoint you. They're going to disappoint you anyway, because you're not designed to be depending on other people. I raised my sons not to depend on me. I raised them to depend on themselves and to depend on God, and to think with your own mind. Yes, we can talk, we can have conversations. You can call me up. I will pray with you. I will minister with you. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to pick yourself up. You're gonna have to figure it out to some degree. You know, I can only take you so far. It's your life. It's your life. It's not my life. It's your life. And so y'all are trying to live your life on all this external stuff, and then you still sad. And the sadness, now you're depressed. Now you're going to the doctor getting some Xannies. Now you're taking Xannies.
I ain't taking no pill that's gonna affect my brain. I'm good.
Because remember, last week we talked about, it's about making you feel good. You in your feelings because you want to feel good. And normally, why do you want to feel good? Because you feel bad. Feel bad. You will always feel sad when you can be in a room full of people and be lonely, because loneliness is a state of mind. You're allowing these external things, whatever it could be. It could be something that your mother said to you. It could be something that your man said to you. You're allowing that to get in you. You're allowing it to get in you, and you're allowing it to bother you, to the point now that you're making a decision about something somebody else said about your life. You don't get to make the decisions about my life.
No, you don't. No, you don't, because you're not that powerful in it.
Plus, I'm held accountable for my own life. You ain't held accountable for my life. I am.
No.
I watched this girl really, for real, be kind of bullied into marrying somebody. Same thing with Jada. Jada got that same story. Jada said she didn't want to get married. Here come her mom and all them. Will ain't paid no attention to what she said, because he wanted what he wanted. He saw somebody he wanted. This what he want. And so for the first 40 days, the woman cried every day. Why? She's sad. You're always going to be sad when you go against who you truly are. In your true identity. Your true identity be trying to talk and be trying to tell you, girl, don't do it. Don't nobody have to tell you. You already know.
You give me intuition for a reason.
You already know.
Yes, you know danger when you're about to go into it.
You already know. She cried for 40 days. Now, I ain't go that far. I ain't cry for 40 days. I just was like, well, I made a decision. I might as well just go on. I'm married now. I was married now. I might as well just go, you know what I mean? Already, we, had a child, so I'm married. Then moved away from home. Yeah, we got to make the best of this thing. Jada cried 40 days. Why? Because you go against your true self. You cannot keep continuing to live life from the outside in. That's not how you're supposed to live your life. You got to be true to yourself. People be like, well, how did you know to do this? And how did you know to do that? Because I stay true to me. I don't care what nobody else is doing. I got to stay true to my true identity of who I am on the inside. When I started my podcast, I didn't know that people were starting podcasts. I wasn't paying them people no attention. This was the next thing on my list, and it was what's true for me. Might not be what's true for you, but it's true for me. And I get great enjoyment out of it. I got to get back to it because I've got a little busy. But yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this show because I stay true to myself. I'm not doing what nobody else is doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. Whether you like it or not is moot. I hope you like it. Matter of fact, I know you do. I know you do. You know what I'm saying? So you can being alone is all in one. That's what alone means to me. It means you're all in one. It means you are a self-contained unit, and that you do not look for any type of validation outside yourself. Nobody, your children, your man, your mama, daddy, the principal of the school, the president of the nobody. Only God can validate you because He's the only one created you. You get no external validation or rewards or anything from anything external. Cannot infiltrate your internal, and you will have so much joy in your
Yes, you will.
life. You will have so much because joy is not predicated upon what somebody does or don't do, or did he call you, or did he text you, or did he show up, or did he do this, or did he do that. Because after you become the cemetery for semen, you still feel empty. To me, it magnifies the emptiness. It's nothing worse than having sex with somebody and you get up and you feel worse than what you felt when you laid down. The emptiness, the void that's there is no love attached there. It's no love. It's just two people bumping
That's
by.
why they. That's why they call it the walk of shame.
It's the worst. It is the worst.
Put your clothes on, walk to the car, got your head down.
It's the
It only
worst.
feels good for the moment.
It feels good because it's an external reward. That's why it feels only good for the moment. You're still empty. Remember, the loneliness comes because you're sad, because there's something missing and you don't know what it is. And so you're going around trying to fulfill your thirst. Remember it. Remember in the Bible. And let me tell y'all this. Like I said before, even if you don't believe the Bible as a spiritual book, it's a history book. It's a book of poetry. You know what I'm saying? Read it for the stories. Y'all like drama? Y'all like tea? Ha! Them stories in the Bible. You got people sleeping with people, having people killed so they can have their wife, and you want drama. Okay, read it just for the stories. Jesus told a woman, he told her, he said, I will give you water that you will thirst again. Y'all are thirsty. Why are you thirsty? Because there's something missing on the inside of you. As a little girl, we would run in the house because, grown-ups didn't like you running in and out. So if you came in the house for something, it better be something important. And we would get thirsty and want to come in and get a drink. And we'd grab, soda. My grandmother, she used to always say, nothing takes the place of water. When you're thirsty, nothing takes the place of water. When your spirit is thirsty and you're trying to give it sex, when your spirit is thirsty and you're trying to give it food, and your spirit is thirsty and you're trying to give it anything other than what will quench that thirst, you're going to always be thirsty. And when you're thirsty and desperate, you're going to always be taken advantage of.
Water do be everything now. I drink probably too much of it, but it is what it is. That said, let me go ahead on and do we got any more slides or? I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. First things first, okay? For those people who are out there looking for validation and words of encouragement, affirmation, whatever to match your love language, I'm gonna tell you this: clap for yourself. You don't need the multitude of people trying to like you for what you have. Focus on you. Stay in your lane. Once you stay in your lane, I promise you the people in your life, you'll begin to weed some of those people out because you're gonna know why they're really there, why they're really trying to drain you for whatever it may be. Two, when you're going through the process of being alone, not being lonely, but being alone, keep your mouth shut. Everything ain't for everybody.
They be giving me a hard time. Why you ain't got no husband? Why don't you mind your business? You got a husband and you still ain't happy. You got a wife and you still unhappy. I don't see a whole lot of happy married people.
Happiness
so go ahead with that. You're talking to the wrong one. Go ahead, Tate.
happiness comes from within. Joy comes from within. Now, what someone else comes to your life and also contributes to is a different story, but no, they're contributing. They're not the sole source. You are the sole source. You have to realize that. You're still trying to go out and go get happiness from this person, and then you're just jumping from person to person to person, getting those small deposits of happiness wherever you can. Yet still, you still feel empty. You got to fill your own cup before you start trying to take sips from other people. It's not gonna work out that way. No, no, get your no. And also, with that being said, stop opening up the doors that were closed to the people who drained you in the past. You got drained, and they also have a piece of you. Get your piece of you back. Close that door. Too many people out here that are lonely, not alone, but lonely, and because they ex come scratching back on the door, you feel as though it's a need to open it. It's not. Don't give a damn if you got kids or not. There's a such thing as co-parenting. You can still co-parent and not have to be with that person. I did it. It ain't that hard. You're a mother, they're a father. We're just doing this on the other side of the door. If it's not in the best interest of the store, you're not getting your family back. It ain't gonna happen. I'm over here, I'm working on me, I'm happy. Well, they said that you had such and such around my kids. Okay. Were they happy? Were they fine? Like, don't get caught up in that. Work on you, love you, clap for your damn self, especially if ain't nobody else clapping. That's it.
I know that's right. Clap for yourself. I think too, that people don't realize, like, they're focusing too much on the negative side of them. You have to kind of focus on the good things about yourself. Everybody has something good about themselves, and they're not focusing on the good parts of themselves. They're just focusing on the negative parts. That'll also make you sad, as well. Get to the source of what the sadness is. Face it, deal with it, and move on to the next thing.
And count it, and count the things that you've been through because they matter too.
Matters.
Again, quick story before we go. Again, I think I had the story before about I've been in this house at the time. It was less than a year, and most people they go through a stage where they're just house poor. No couch, no bed. You just in the house existing. And I was just telling a friend of mine like, "Hey, listen, I gotta get this, I gotta get that, and I gotta do this." And it was like, "But you've already done so much already." And I didn't realize until I actually sat back and looked like to come into this house and have nothing, and then getting tables, furniture, and things of that nature. It takes some people a long time. It's like you got to sit back. You got the small victories are victories too. So count whatever blessing, whatever hurdle that you accomplish. Yeah, clap on that. Clap. Small victories are victories. Big victories are victories.
Yeah.
Some of them deserve a clap. Some of them might deserve some champagne. But either way, celebrate it regardless.
I call it the ladder of faith. You have to pull on those little things. Everybody wants the boom, boom, pow. They want the big thing, but they forget about, like Dante said, those little wins. That's your ladder of faith. You're when one little thing, and that's something that I'm working on too, and I've just started doing just to really celebrate the things that I've already accomplished. A lot of times we take that stuff for granted because we're looking at the big picture and we want the big thing and we want to hurry up and get to the destination, that we're not really giving ourselves the credit for those small victories and everything, because we live in the world. It's not easy. We don't know whether America is on the brink of war or not, or what's going to happen. It's so much uncertainty. The only thing that you can really control is you, and the only thing that you can really change is you. Period. That's just it. It's just you. So that's where your focus should be. And for those that want to be married, now just because I don't want to be married, that don't have anything to do with you. I've already been married. So I've already checked that box off. For me, it's not a big deal. But for those of you that want to be married, I would say, work on becoming a wife. If you want to be married, work on becoming a wife. Don't let somebody tell you that because you over 30 or you 35 or 40 that nobody's going to marry you. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because the word of God says whoever finds a wife, you have to already be a wife. The ring don't make you a wife. The wedding doesn't make you a wife. None of that stuff makes you a wife. And it doesn't even really make you married. The wedding don't make you married. The piece of paper don't make you married. The ring don't make you married. What makes you married is when you marry your spirit with the spirit of another person. It is spirit to spirit. The two spirits shall become one spirit. And so you can't even check this out. I'm going to leave y'all with this. I'm going to put something on your mind. Sip on this. Two women can't have intercourse. Two men can't have intercourse. It is the intercourse that makes you married.
Well, all right.
It's not, because the ring and all of that, that's not what makes you married. All of that part is for show. Oh, that's the for show part. That's the witnessing part. When they say you have anybody to witness, that's the witnessing part. But that doesn't make you married. Whether you have a ring or not have a ring, or have a wedding or flowers or a gown or not. That's all the stuff that people do for show. But they do all of that for show and they still empty. Because you got two false identities coming together trying to make one whole identity. And so you got especially if you want to be married, you got to work on you. Don't join your life to somebody's life and you're broken. That's irresponsible. That's very irresponsible of you to know you got issues, to know you got baggage, to know you got junk, and to take all of that and connect yourself with another human being. That's a recipe for disaster. That's why these marriages.
I realized that one.
That's why these marriages are not working. Because you think that marriage is the answer to loneliness. No, it's not. It's not. It is not. It's not. Because two broken people are not going to be able to connect on a deep level. You will be able to connect, as far as your soul, but as far as my spirit, you're going to miss it every time. And so you need to, if you want to be married, you need to be working on yourself more than anybody. Because men are looking for the same thing. Men saying the same thing women saying. Women saying they can't find a good man. Men saying we can't find a good woman. Why? Because ain't nobody working on themselves.
That's why Deadpool got pee in it.
What?
That's why Deadpool got pee in it. That's why.
There you go. So we will see you guys next week. This was a good show, and we will be back. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Man Translation Show. We're taking it to another level. I would love to make an announcement, but I can't make it quite yet. Dante won't let me make it, so I can't say anything. Nope. I gotta keep the secret. But we get ready to take this show. Not gonna stay small. We get ready to take this show to a whole nother level. We will see you guys next Sunday. Like and share.